Today, we're going to cut through all the noise of the financial world to explore a really powerful and kind of counterintuitive idea, the Seatedwit Doctrine. This isn't about chasing quick wins or the latest hot stock. Nope. It's a whole philosophy for building lasting financial strength by changing the very way we think about money. So let's dive in.
I mean, you see it, right? The headlines screaming, the charts flashing red and green, the endless stream of expert opinions. It feels overwhelming, totally chaotic. And you know what? It's kind of designed to be that way. Let's pull back the curtain on the machine that's generating all that static.
The source material calls this the financial noise machine, and it's a perfect name for it. It's this whole system that runs on short-term hot takes, on communications that are really just sales pitches, and a media cycle that absolutely loves drama. And the result? Well, we're all encouraged to mistake frantic activity for actual progress, all while we kind of ignore the real risks bubbling under the surface.
But what if you could just step outside that machine? What if you could build a quiet, structured space where clear, calm thinking about capital was not just possible, but the default? Well, that's the whole idea behind this doctrine.
Now, it's really important to get this. Seatedwit isn't a fund or a bank. The source material is super clear. It's an institutional project, not a brand. Its entire reason for being is education. It doesn't manage a dime. It focuses on shaping the minds, the language, and the processes of the people who are going to be making huge decisions for decades.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly, the two worlds side by side. On one side, you've got the chaos of the noise machine, right? That leads to weak, emotional, knee-jerk decisions. But on the other side, you have the seated wit response, a calm, principled approach that builds a rock-solid foundation for every single choice.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how does seated wit actually build these disciplined thinkers? It's not magic, believe me. It's a very deliberate, structured method. Let's break it down. It really comes down to a four-step process. First, you have to define your core beliefs, the doctrine. Then, you turn that philosophy into a structured curriculum people can actually learn from. The third step is all about orientation, helping people understand the actual plumbing of the financial system, not just the headlines. And finally, you train stewards, the people who will one day sit at that decision-making table. Now, that first step, defining the doctrine, is without a doubt the most important one. So let's really dig into the fundamental principles that shape this entire worldview. This right here is the foundational belief. Capital isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a real force with real-world gravity. The decisions made about it can literally create stability or cause chaos for families, for businesses, even for whole societies. And that means handling it isn't just some technical skill. It's a deep, profound responsibility. And building on that, the doctrine sees capital in three specific ways. First, preservation always comes before growth. You protect what you have first. Second, capital is a responsibility, not some trophy to be shown off. And third, it's viewed as a long-term trust, something passed between generations that needs to be managed for the long haul.
Okay, this one might be the most challenging principle to really internalize. In a world that is completely obsessed with results, seated wit says focus on the process. Why? Well, think about it. A great outcome could just be dumb luck, and a bad one could just be misfortune. You can't control luck, but a sound, disciplined process, that is something you can control, and it's what will serve you reliably year after year through every market cycle.
This slide brilliantly illustrates one of the doctrine's most powerful distinctions. On the left, you've got financial activity. That's just the surface noise, the trading, the news, all the chatter. But on the right, you have financial progress. And that's so much deeper. It's about building stronger, more resilient financial structures and clearer ways of making decisions. You know, this philosophy also does a great job of demystifying the market. It's not some unknowable, mystical force that just does what it wants. It's a human system. It's built on rules, it's driven by incentives, and it runs on actual, tangible infrastructure. And if you can understand the system's plumbing, you can navigate it a whole lot better. So you've got the principles, you've got the method, but what is the ultimate goal here? Where is all of this supposed to lead? What's the point?
And here it is. This is the destination. The entire doctrine, all of it, is designed to engineer this fundamental shift in your perspective, to get you to stop reacting to daily events and start planning across decades. It's about cultivating a kind of patience that is almost unheard of in modern finance, a true generational long-term view. This quote just nails that mental shift perfectly. It's about moving away from the question every individual investor asks, what should I buy, to a much more profound institutional question. What is our process? How do we, as a group, make sound decisions that will hold up for the long term?
So we'll end with a question that the source document suggests you ask yourself. And it's a really powerful tool for reflection. In your own financial life, just looking back, where did you get caught up in mere activity? And where did you make real structural progress? It's a question worth pondering long after this explainer is over.